Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host, Matt Marrero, along with your other host,
Tristan Walter.
And what are we doing today, Tristan Walter?
I want to make a joke in the intro, but I can't because I love this series too much, so I'm just going to say it. We're doing Yu Yu Hakusho, baby. We're back.
Oh, damn. That's right. We did that last year.
There's the joke.
That was like 2 months ago. We did it last year.
We're back.
No, it's true. Right? We did it maybe like 3 months ago, maybe?
Yeah. Surprised to me not dead.
Right. Yes, that's what we... What's not dead? You? Just in general? I'm confused. What's going on? Yusuke?
Us covering Yu Yu Hakusho. It's not dead. It's back.
Oh, yeah, like the first episode. We're still good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now that I've made my horrible joke, we can go.
Oh, I can wait for more. Please. Just keep going. Make horrible jokes. Interrupt me, please.
That's all I got. For now.
No, it isn't. That's the only horrible joke you have. Tristan, don't undersell yourself. I believe you have many more terrible jokes. Yeah. Okay, so we're doing Yu Yu Hakusho, right? And it's funny. We might have had a weird start to this podcast, but honestly, the show, this arc was kind of weird overall. Like, well, I say arc as if there weren't two arcs. There were the same beasts, and then there was the don't tell Hiei about his sister arc. So that's basically what it was, and it was very strange to me because I didn't hate it at all. It felt like the pacing was really off for some parts where they really wanted to speed. And I know, I remember reading the manga, and the manga can also get a little weird with pacing because, and also with backgrounds and things like that. But still, I don't know. It felt as if they really wanted to get through everything until Suzaku. And then they're like, yeah, no, let's slow down some things. But not too much. But still slowed it down enough that I was like, okay. We're focusing a lot on Suzaku Hiei right now. Suzaku Yusuke right now. And then that would have been a fucking crazy fight. Suzaku Yusuke. And then, right after that, it's just like, oh, and by the way, here's a real mini arc. Here's a videotape. And I was like, don't fucking play it, Yusuke. 7 days.
Oh, my God.
Do not play it, Yusuke. Actually, it's funny. I don't even think the ring came out yet. No, it's true. I don't even think it came out because if anyone doesn't remember, this anime came out in '93. So we just got it late because that's what happens with America.
Right. This anime is
so we got
younger
it.
than us, Matt. God damn it.
You mean? Yeah, right. Yes, only a year younger. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy, man. No, it's true. And technically, the manga's older than us. Technically.
Yeah, that's true.
So the manga's older than us. Anime is only a year younger than us. But we got it in '03, so it was the perfect time to watch it as a kid on Adult Swim while making sure that no one in your family... What?
Right, was around. Because he said crap once, and I freaked out, and I'm like, oh, no!
Oh, yeah, no, dude. I was confused because of Yusuke's breast-grabbing shenanigans. You know what's interesting? Even as a kid, right? Even as someone who was let me think. If we got this in '03, I was 11. Even as someone who was 11, I thought it was so, Yusuke, doing what he was doing with the triad, with the first, the cross-dresser woman. Man, because technically cross-dresser.
Yes.
Well, it's interesting. I guess not. I don't know if because it was just a strange situation. And I say strange situation not because the person, the cross-dresser, are trans, but because it never actually went through either way. And it's not Funimation's fault if they're taking the exact, script, which Funimation doesn't usually do, but I'm pretty sure that they weren't going to make a joke there. And
right, yeah.
It was so,
all right,
so
boys,
strange.
By this one, we're playing it by the book.
Whatever they did, we have to do. So it was so strange because it's well, first off, just the general sexistness of the whole you can't hit girls. It's like, dude, she's a fucking demon.
Yeah, that was the funniest part for me. Kuwabara just freaking out the entire time. You're a Meshi, I'm gonna have to beat you up right now. You just hit a girl. It's like, Kuwabara, they're trying to kill us. I don't care what they're trying to do. It's like, you don't hit girls. It's like, dude.
Yeah, thankfully. I think even the Japanese version understands that they're trying to play it up as a joke. Like, are you fucking serious? She's a demon. You're really going to sit here and not fight
right,
the demon?
Exactly. You're going to sit here and not defend yourself? Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah. So that was played up. So Kuwabara was played up as a joke. But the way Yusuke figured out everything, I was like, no wonder these first 20 some odd episodes couldn't play on Toonami.
Yeah.
No, because the thing is, if anyone doesn't remember, yes, if anyone forgot, they didn't play these episodes on Toonami, and I would even argue, though, don't quote me on this, they didn't even re-air the episodes on early Toonami. They just pretty much straight up said, hey, we're airing this on Adult Swim, and then it became so popular, and they noticed that it was becoming popular. I think I said this a little bit in the last podcast we did of Yu Hakusho, but it became so popular with a younger crowd, like myself, right, and you, that they were like, oh, fuck it, let's put it on Toonami. In the same way that Dragon Ball Z was popular, they were like, oh, yeah, we'll just put it on the Toonami block along with Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon. I believe Kenshin was on at the same time. I'm pretty sure the block was, and I might be wrong here, I'm pretty sure, yes, they may have had Zoids on, but it's weird because I know that they were cutting it down from 4 to, so I remember at one point it was Sailor Moon 4:30, DBZ 5, and then I don't know if it was a full hour of DBZ or something, but I know that I remember at one point we had Yu Hakusho on right after DBZ, and then on last, I guess maybe at 5:30 going into 6, because I'm pretty sure they ended Toonami at 6, they had Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah.
So it may have been like Sailor Moon. It might have been like Zoids, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, Yu Hakusho, Kenshin, and then goodbye. You're done. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's only a 2-hour block. So yeah, because I don't believe it went on until 7. It may have, right? I know at one point it was longer than 2 hours, but then they cut it down, and I was like, thanks, guys. Because it became, it was still 7, because it was 5 to 7. It used to be 4 to 7.
Right, yeah.
The point in all this is that Yu Hakusho transitioned into that block, I guess, to give it some more, shonen anime, and man, did it help. But here's the thing: it was after this. It was the Dark Tournament saga, but still, this was very relevant because again, you're watching this on Adult Swim, and you're like, whoa, this is different. Right? Because, again, even as a kid watching that scene with the triad, it was weird to me because, even I knew, I was like, the line, if you're going to be a man, do it all the way, is just like, No, what it was trying to say was, I think, in my opinion, if you're going to sit there and say, don't hit me because I'm a woman, or something like that, in other words, pick a side and stick with it. Now, the side shouldn't be your fucking, are you a man, or, that's stupid.
Your gender, yeah, right.
That's stupid, or what you wear. I think that's stupid. Sorry, wear whatever you want to wear. Be who you want to be. You are who you are. But the idea of her basically say, or it's
in a fight.
The reason why it's hard to say her or him, because she says, the tribe member says, oh, would you have done that to me if I were a man, or would you be treating me this way if I were a man? You're hitting me even harder because you know of who I am. And it's kind of like, no, I'm actually not discriminating against you. You want to fight me, therefore I'm fighting you.
Right.
Don't try to play both sides here. But I think it comes off as a really bad joke or a bad situation because it's just the idea of playing both sides here from someone who is either a cross-dresser or a trans is really just fucking bad. You sit back and you're like, right, this came out in 1993, and even when it came out in 2003, people wouldn't be talking about it this way.
Right.
So, but even then, even when I was 11, I was like, this is weird. I don't know if I like Yusuke right now.
It's
I was
funny,
not,
The first time I remember seeing it on Adult Swim when I was much younger was towards the beginning where Yusuke, we talked about the arc the last time when on his first case when he meets Hiei and Karama and Goki. And he was running down an alleyway trying to follow the kid's soul that had just left his body and was going to Goki's the spirit orb. And he's like, oh, damn it, where did it go? And I'm like, uh-oh, no one heard that, right? No one heard that! And then he walks into the back alley, and it's a bunch of guys walk up to him and pull out knives, and they're like, "Hey, kid, why don't you give us your money?" I'm like, "Oh, this isn't the series I thought it was. Oh no." And then,
I love it so much because I just imagine. I know. I'm laughing because I just imagine you, like, your parents are, like, walking around, and he's just like, "I'm going to kick the crap out of you." And you're like, "Oh, my God." And your parents are like, "What? What just happened? What?" They don't give a fuck about you. Like, in that case, they're just like,
"Thanks."
No, I'm sorry. In that case, I don't know your parents well, but the way you've described your parents to me, one bad word wouldn't have made them be like, "Oh, my God, we have to burn this accursed television."
No, yeah, they probably would have been like, "What's this?" And like, obviously, I don't think they would have like flipped a shit about it. Like,
no,
this is one curse, but yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to be fair though, as the series goes on, I was even sitting there going like, "Wow, you guys really added in a lot of stuff here." Like, no, because you said Yusuke, and it's just like, "Genkai, you old bitch." I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I understand he's not going to call her a ninny, but my God, I forgot the amount of because it's crazy because, you know, again, I don't know if things get. I am sure they released an edited version and an uncut version at one point for the earlier parts.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, for the later parts.
They did. Oh,
yeah, so
I think they edited it a lot where he would just say "old hag," or maybe they just wouldn't add the line at all. Something like that.
Actually, no, you're right. You're right. He called her an old hag a lot in the Dark Tournament.
Right.
And that's, of course, the part
point,
that aired on Toonami.
Right. And at that point, he respects her more as his teacher. Like, he's like, "Yes, you are my teacher."
Yeah, I got to be honest. I'd rather him do that. Like, if I know we're watching the uncut version, but like, if he just keeps on calling her an old bitch to her face, I'd be like, I don't like.
Well, that's the funny part. Like,
shit,
when he does that, that's usually when Genkai kicks his ass. You know?
Yeah, I know. No, but like, he calls her old hag so much. I don't know. Now that I remember you saying that, it actually, like, it resonates with me. Like, oh right, yeah, I used to love when he called her an old hag because it was funny, and it was like, yeah, I was like in that weird middle ground where like, yeah, like he's a delinquent, he calls her an old hag. It's, I don't know, it's different for me than being like, "You old piece of shit." It's kind of just like, we've gone over a line here. That like old hag is over a line. Like, if I called any family member an old hag, I would get my ass kicked. They fuck it. They put on Yo no Se Mañana. It'd be like to a soundtrack. They would put on the sweetest, oldest Spanish music, and they would beat the living shit out of me if I called them an old hag. And this is from a family who's never hit me, but I also knew not to say that shit to them. Right?
Well,
but
you know,
if I
same thing for
any
me.
Of
like,
them,
that would be the same thing for my family. I come from a family of martial artists. If I stepped out of line, I would have gotten my ass whooped. Thankfully.
But we never did. So, you know, and thankfully our families are also nicer too. But still,
right,
you know, but my point is that
never had to go through that.
Well, no, my point is that if I called any of them, it's like that Eddie Murphy skit. If I called anyone, even just, I don't know, I feel like maybe it's because I'm from New York. Even people on the street. If I walked to an old woman on the street and I was like, "You old bitch," I feel like it would be like that Eddie Murphy skit where she would just pull out a gun and just shoot me.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Have you ever seen that?
I would have
said
smacked you with her purse or hit you with her cane, but you know, whatever.
No. It was this thing where Eddie Murphy was just like, he was talking about how, and he's an African American comedian. He was talking about how it's crazy how white children talk to their moms. It's like, "Oh, come on, mama, shit, come on, mama, fuck, come on, fuck,
I think
shit."
I remember that.
And he was,
and
he said, and he was talking, and he was doing stand up on stage, and he was talking about this, and he said, if I had done that to my mother, she would have said nothing, just pulled out a gun. Man, that boy's crazy. But my point is that, like, I don't know, I feel like old hag is a nice area, but anywhere else I'm just like, oh. Anyway,
well, because it still shows that Yusuke is just, he's a punk kid, and like that was honestly the best part of Yu Yu Hakusho for me. Like, Yusuke's not your typical hero. Yes, he ends up doing the right thing. He does the right thing in the end usually, but he's not your justice craving, you know, stand-up kid. It's like, no, my first reasoning for wanting to beat you down is because you threw the first punch or you pissed me off. So now I'm going to beat the crap out of you. It's only later does it
Yeah.
become, no, I need to protect people.
Yeah, I honestly, I respected that up until the scene with the triad woman. Like, I
Okay.
completely respected that up until that point. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying I don't respect it now. Like, it was just that one little thing that I was just like, ooh, this is dated as fuck.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. No, because, again, you know, like I was saying a lot earlier, right? You know, this came out in 93. We get it in 03. And, you know, and now it's 2017.
Right.
So it's very interesting how it's like everyone's like, oh, man, that kid. But even 03, it's not as if we were having a discussion like this. But still, 93, like, that's a while ago. Like, I hate to be that person to do that, right? But it really, not just because, you know, it's like we were only one at the time. But, like, no, seriously, that was a while ago. And,
Right.
like, it's kind of crazy to think, like, where we've come in certain ways because, you know, it's kind of like, again, they're just like, oh, yeah, you're a man. She's like, I'm a woman. Well, I guess we'll never know that mystery. What? No, seriously. It was just like, you're a man, why'd you hit her? Balls. No, like, that's just the fucking, no, like, that's literally how it came out. And it was just like, oh, my God.
I know. Just...
what's his name? Did Yu Yu Hakusho Abridged get up to that point or no?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, God, did he? No.
I don't know.
Stopped just before that.
Aw.
Yeah.
I'm happy he didn't get the chance to make a joke about that. That was a while ago. That would have been that also would have been fucking dated. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's no, but my point is that, you know, you laugh at the absurdity of it because it's just like, you know, because the thing is, it's like, and again, just the whole joke itself is just like, you know, it's not like it's you know, trying to fight like someone you know in your life that's a woman, because unless they're your trained martial arts family, 9 times out of 10, it's not gonna. Well, yeah, out of people that you know, because I know people that you know, it's not. You know, it's not something you do. It's just not right.
No.
Right? Now, again, you don't fight anyone, and that's your take on it, and I know my take on it as well. A lot of our takes on it that, you know, that we have here, it's just like we don't fight anyone, but, you know, obviously, like, yes, you know, you just don't do that at all, right?
If it comes down to it,
again,
if my life is threatened, it's like, I'm going to defend myself. Yeah, sorry, like, I'm not going to sit here if, you know, someone I knew was a demon, became a demon, or something crazy happened, zombie, whatever, just be like, no, but gender. I mean... I'd say people in general. If somebody comes after me or pulls a knife on me, regardless of gender or age or anything like that, it's like, I'm going to defend myself. Sorry. You're going to take it.
I love you so much because in my head I imagined a 7-year-old girl with a knife, and you're like, I'm going to beat the shit out of her.
All right.
Tristan, I think you might be
You
able
have
to
twist my words. You always do.
No, because you said anyone, any age, and I was like, I'm sorry. Why did you have to bring up?
Okay, well, if a 7-year-old is coming at me with a knife, there are more questions running through my head than.
You're asking yourself the question, like, I wonder, as you roundhouse kick her in the face multiple times, I wonder how. This is so strange.
So we were talking about Yu Yu Hakusho.
Botan's a witch. Also, I love how Kuwabara is in love with Botan. Kuwabara is in love with Botan, and then all of a sudden sees Yukina, and he's just like, nah, I found something new.
I mean, they're supposed to be, what, 14? I would assume, I guess they're both the same
less.
age, but...
It's funny. I assume they're both the same age because it seems like they're both in the same class, just different class. Okay,
they're
both
in
the same
junior
grade.
high.
Yeah. No, because
it's
it's very interesting. Yeah, because it's not like it's interesting because like it's a bit different the way they do it than I would argue. Well, I would argue that America, at least the schools that you and I went to, do it differently.
Right.
Where you know, I mean, for me, yes, it's like, you know, we don't just say, like, because I don't know about the school you went to, right, when you were in middle school.
Where the cutoff age
but
is
mine,
for, yeah.
No, not the
junior
cutoff
high
age.
or
Just no, not even the cutoff age. Not just that. Just talking about the fact that there's so many of them that they can say, "Oh, you're in grade 9, class A, class B."
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know if that happened to you as well. I know you had different homerooms and stuff like that, depending on how big the school was, regardless of middle school or whatever. But for me, my school was so small. It was like, no, you're in grade 8. That's it. There's no other grade 8s. It's just you.
Right.
But
okay.
and the reason why I say that is because obviously Kuwabara and Yusuke don't interact ever in school, yet they're in the same grade.
Right.
Because
it's weird.
And also what?
There are scenes where they do talk to each other. It's weird because at the beginning it doesn't seem like they're in the same class, but later on as the series progresses, it looks like they're in the same class. So I actually don't know.
Oh, never mind. No, it seems like Keiko and Yusuke are in the same class because it's like, do you want to be or at the very least, because she's the student council president or something, she knows when Yusuke is late.
Yeah. Maybe that was actually, you know what? That might be later when they're in high school that I'm thinking of that. That Kuwabara and like Keiko were in the same class and they're like, "Oh, where's Urameshi? He's not here again." And they're both talking to each other about it. But that
right, because right now sorry about that. Sorry about that, everyone, because I don't remember that, but I'm sure it happened. But thinking about now, currently, they're in middle school, and what's strange is, no, you were right, though. You were because you were thinking I was talking about the fact that middle school actually goes up to 14. So they could be 14, not like 11 to 13.
Right, yeah. Even though in the anime,
at one point,
they do specifically say, you know, I know in the promos, I don't know about the manga, but I would think it did too. You know, 14-year-old, you know,
I think he was actually 12.
Spirit detective.
Mm-hmm. I think he's 12 in the manga.
That's
because
weird.
but it explains why he's such a dick.
I mean, yeah, but 14 is only 2 years. I feel like that would just be easily as explainable.
Well,
but what doesn't make sense to me, why would Spirit World want a 12-year-old as their spirit detective unless they had absolutely no other choice?
Okay. I raise you to, first off, why would they want a 14-year-old? And more importantly, they're being run by a baby. A 12-year-old is a vast improvement.
Yes, but he's thousands of years old, too. Granted, that's a toddler to them in the land of the dead, but...
Has a pacifier.
Yes, I know.
He still needs some growing to do because he ate that fucking treat. Ogre was chilling there.
Yes.
And he just ate the treat. Oh, by the way, something also, you want to know something very Japanese? And I mean like very Japanese that you may have not picked up on, and I didn't even pick up on when I was a kid. So you know when he said, "Oh, this my servant got me this thing to eat." They were probably waiting online all week. The reason why that's because that sounds fucking weird to Americans, I assume, right?
Mm.
That didn't make you feel like, what the fuck? That didn't throw you off?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't really think about it that much, so it didn't actually register to me. But now that you mention it, yes, that sounds weird.
The reason why he said that is because in Japan, a lot of times like they have carts or they have stores where they'll have limited amounts of like limited time only offers with sweets, and people will be like, "Oh my god," because sweets are huge. So of course it's kind of funny. You're telling me sweets aren't huge in America? What I'm saying is a larger corporation won't be like, "Oh, we have," or not even a corporation, like a smaller like chain, like cart or store, mom and pop store won't be like, "Oh, we're having a new like a new flavor of ice cream," and everyone's just like, "I gotta get online for that."
Right.
Oh, we're only selling 50 cones today. Come back tomorrow for the next cone.
Right.
Right? They don't do that in America. At least I don't. I've never seen any company, be they a big company or be they a smaller mom and pop or a little cart or something. Like I've never seen like carts for like halal or hot dogs or anything saying, like depending on where you are in New York, saying, "Oh, hey, only 50 of these today. Otherwise, we're not selling any more." I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Right? Like the most I think you've ever seen is maybe like 3 people, 4 people in front of a hot dog cart wanting a hot dog. That's it.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a very, very Japanese thing. And that's why you have, what's it called, in Panty and Stocking, if you've seen that. When you have Stocking talking about, oh, my God, these sweets that I got, how great they are. I waited, online all day for this. And then Panty eats them, and Stocking is fucking furious.
Right.
So, yeah. So that's why when Koenma said that, at least to me, I was like, I don't remember that as a kid, but right then I was like, oh, that's the because of the online. But it's very interesting because, like, even though it's like I don't know if it was played up as a joke because of the fact that it's like it's spirit world and yet there's still lines for candy and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they were doing it like that or it was just like, oh, no, yeah, this is just a thing.
Right.
So that was very interesting because, again, it's kind of like it's something, again, that's very Japanese that will kind of go over your head if you don't know about it, because again, it's very weird. Anywho, so yes, but you're right. You were saying earlier how they're 14, and it's like makes a lot of sense. Yes, Kuwabara going from one girl to another. What I think was the funniest to me was when he was like, so he's saying, "Oh, I'm into Yukina," and then it's just like that's Hiei's sister, and then all of a sudden when they're looking into each other's eyes, I'm like, man, Hiei probably shouldn't have been a dick. Like,
well, I feel like in a weird way, the joke is, it's like, I don't want my sister to know me because I'm a wanted criminal. So if I kill you to keep you away from her, she's still not going to know who did it.
I think, yeah, that's what he is doing as he's looking on, like, so he's taking a liking to Yukina. Hiei don't. Oh, I'm not going to do anything. Just going to watch. When
Slowly.
I need to do something is when I won't. I'll just watch. Kuwabara getting his ass beat later.
Oh, God, yeah, give me a hand.
You mean the same hand that you would put on Yukina? That
what?
kind of hand?
What are you talking about? Oh, God!
My God. Oh, man. But, God, what was it? I would love for, like, Hiei to one day just whisper, like, I would love for him to just whisper things at Kuwabara while Kuwabara, because Kuwabara knows. Oh, I think, yeah, Kuwabara knows Hiei's sister. I think he knows. Right, yeah, it says so in the videotape. But I would just love for Hiei to just, like, walk past him, just be like, your throat is so hoarse because you always call for help.
No, he doesn't know. None of them know until later when it's
Botan.
I think either Botan or Kurama tells them. Like he doesn't tell Kuwabara though, I don't think.
Okay.
Until later.
No, I'm sorry. I just want Hiei to just say shit to him, like what I just said, like just walking past him, just like, just your throat is so hoarse because you're always asking for help. Or you're always screaming for help. It's just like, how dare you? How dare you? But anyway, but yeah. So, how did you feel about the pacing for this for these two arcs? Because I felt like it was just weird. Like it felt like they wanted to get through things really quick, and then once it came down to like Suzaku, they were like slow everything down. But then when it came down to Toguro, it's like they knew what's coming after this arc, so they're like, just don't.
Right.
Like, I don't know, like, everything felt too fast for me. And I know I said this last time to you, talking about how, like, you were talking about how, like, Dragon Ball Z does this to us.
Right.
But seriously, though, the Triad felt like they were beaten fairly quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like some of the fights, they could have, like, especially with the Saint Beasts, it hit me.
Yeah.
Because the two fights, because when you think of the Saint Beasts, when I watched it again, I'm like, oh yeah, there's Suzaku and there's Byakuya, and I'm like, and the rock guy, and
yes,
the blue guy. Like,
yeah, I will be fair. Rock guy was beaten fairly quickly in the manga.
Right.
I don't think. I mean, it was
he
Seiryu.
was up against Kurama.
I don't think.
So.
Yes. No. Yeah. He was beaten fairly quickly. Yeah. I think Seiryu and Hiei exchanged a few more blows. I
Yeah,
thought,
they
although
did.
that might have been quick as well in the manga. I'm saying. Yeah. But yes, so I'm happy you understand where I'm coming from. Where it feels like, at least for some of them, I know, and it's funny too, because it's like for Kuwabara and Byakuya, it felt like, oh no, they're gonna last a lot longer, and I'm sorry, they're gonna be, last a real long time. Oh wait, no, that was beaten fairly quickly. Oh wait, never mind, he's still around, so that's gonna be a long time. Oh wait, no, one episode. Oh, okay.
I mean, I feel like they focused on Kuwabara and Yusuke because it was supposed to show how, like, that they've grown in power and that we've already kind of seen what Kurama and Hiei can do. Sort of, to a degree, to a point.
Yeah, they were saving it for the Dark Tournament, some, like, crazier stuff.
Right.
Oh, fucking foreshadowing. Fucking foreshadowing. Oh, he fights with roses. Don't animal spirits do that?
Right, yeah.
I had chills. I was like, I don't remember that line. Might have been the episode I missed, because there was some episodes that I did miss by the fact that they were on Adult Swim. So yeah, I was like, oh my god. And, we'll talk about that next podcast we do for Yu Hakusho. But spoilers, you know? But yeah, so yeah, but please talk more about the pacing. I know you had some more stuff to say about it.
So, I mean, I feel like some of those fights were, quicker. Obviously, Hiei and Kurama's fights were both quicker than Kuwabara and Yusuke's fight. Whereas Kuwabara, he got 2 episodes for his fight with Byakuya. And then, of course, Yusuke gets, I think, 3 for his fight with Suzaku. But that's, that's the big bad boss. Of course it's going to be, I feel like, of course that one's going to be drawn out. It's the main character versus the big villain of this arc.
Of course.
And it's funny, I personally enjoyed this arc because in a weird way it kind of reminded me of, I guess it's too early for, Frieza, but it's kind of like the Saiyan arc where, everyone's jumping in. We've established the team. Here's everyone working together for this goal. And they've gotten, they've been training since the last time that we saw them, or since, the point in which they joined the team. So we get to kind of see them work together and be a little more souped up than last time we saw them and kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah, it's interesting. I like the concept of this arc. It's funny, I like what happened on Earth, I think, more than with what happened with the Saint Beast. Because it's just one of those situations where I feel like everyone, especially, Yusuke and Kuwabara, became, super shonen anime protagonists. Where, I know it started with Rando a little bit, but I don't know, it felt like it was crazy out of control here, where at least with Toguro, we learn later, and even in the moment, they're not sending their best. And also, they've been through a lot of training at that point. Now, yes, Yusuke has trained with Genkai, true. But Kuwabara hasn't, right? And, it just, I don't know, it just felt like...
Not as much, but I think she was more of, teaching him how to control his awareness more than, really, training him. Because I feel even before it's mentioned in the Dark Tournament, I feel like Genkai was like, no, this is going to be the kid that I teach everything to. That was always the thought in the back of her mind.
Yeah. But it's just strange to me that, not strange. It was a little jarring, I think, that, it's like Yusuke Suzaku. And I'm not saying it's a problem that it was stretched out to 3, although, again, I said it was weird because before it wasn't. It was all 1 episode, 2 episodes. But now we have 3, and it's just like, oh no, Suzaku's beat him down. But wait a minute, I remembered that Keiko and I shared a snow cone once. And then you have the dramatic music in the background. That was a really good snow cone!
Hey, I love that theme. Fuck you.
No, you ever say, it's not that I didn't love the scene. It happened 2 times.
Right.
Literally, Keiko trips. She's dead! Wait a minute, I think she's okay. Then that means that I'm feeling better! It was just like whatever happened to Keiko on screen. Literally, Saku could have been like, I filmed this a week ago. This isn't even footage of the zombie attack.
They're all already dead. Everything is dead. Oh, God.
Whenever that happens, it's happened a lot. But whenever that fucking happens, it's a really good twist. I'm sorry. The idea of, like, the footage I'm showing you is footage from a week ago is, like, one of the fucking craziest twists. I don't know. I'm a really big fan of that twist. It didn't happen here.
It's funny.
But,
like, yeah, I don't think I would have liked that twist here because that would have really fucked up Yusuke. And we already know what happens when you fuck up a spirit detective. That's a different season that we'll do later, but holy shit.
All I'll say is this, right? I feel like if they had done that to Yusuke, they would play the music, and he'd be like, no, the chorus is going to shut the fuck up right now. No orchestra, no nothing.
Yeah, he probably
I don't
would.
have shoes, and my girlfriend is dead. This is terrible. Yeah. But, so another thing, too, that I think, at least at this point in the series, I'm not a big fan of, was that they were like, oh, hey, there's 4 demon beasts, right, or holy beasts, demons that are in this demon world, and you have to go kill them. And it was, well, no.
Okay.
And it's just like, and that's that. Like, no questions asked. And I look, I know I have, suspension of disbelief. I get it. We're watching an anime. I get that too, right? I'm not going to be a stickler here because we could literally say so much about Dragon Ball Z that, like, it's like, Matt, shut the fuck up. And I get that. I understand that sentiment. It's just that, like, when you start with, like, oh, there's a spirit world, and you're like, okay, and then, Lord Enma, and, you were just like, okay, there's a heaven, there's a hell, got it. But to say, like, oh, no, the demon world, and then there's a maze castle, and I'm like, guys, what are we doing?
Well, Maze Castle is within Demon World.
No, I know, but but the thing is that, like, it just you start to think, whenever demons are introduced in a show, especially Japanese shows, you start to think, like, wait, so, like, the demons, were they born demons? Did people become demons? It's kind of like how, I won't even be look, I'm not even going to just stick it to Yu Yu Hakusho, I'll stick it to Bleach, too. It's funny. Matt, what's the difference? I'll stick it to Bleach, too. When we have Shinigami, right, and they're like, oh, they're little baby Shinigami. What? Wait a minute. Slow down. Let's back up here.
You're right. You're supposed to be in the souls in the land of the dead, but you were born here. So were you reborn, or, like, I understand that. Like, in this case with Yu Yu Hakusho, it's established. Like, I would argue this is the series trying to open up the fact that, hey, yeah, I know we've mentioned, heaven and hell, the dead, whatever you want to call it, but there's also a demon world that they are constantly causing trouble, some of them, in a sense that they want to invade the human world.
Okay, so arguably, it's like Hueco Mundo in Bleach. Like, there's another area where there's these assholes.
If you wanted to think about it that way, yeah, I guess that could work.
Okay, fair enough. Because, like, again, like, it's just always – because, like, they, at least at this point in the show, and I'm pretty sure they didn't even later, explain more about demons. I'm sorry, about the origins of demons, not just that demons exist.
Yeah.
'Cause I know they revisit the idea of demons later, which I think is great. Because it's just kind of strange to me that it's just like, hey, demons exist. By the way, this really fucking cool tournament. And it's like, okay. But yeah, so here, end up I understand what you're saying. Yes, it's more world building than I'm giving them credit for. I'll give you that.
I think it was more like, here are some demons, go kill them. I feel like it's more of, so these guys are trying to get into the human world, and Yusuke is a spirit detective, so he's the representative for the spirit world, but in the human world. It's like, so you work for us, but you live in that world. You should be the one to defend it. We're going to help you out, but, like, you need to stop them from getting into your world because it will be a fucking disaster.
No, it makes sense. No, and I'm not saying I don't get the story. It's just, like, the idea of the demon world, and, like, it's just kind of like, oh, yeah, and, like, in other words, there's an entire world of demons? Yes, and all that matters to you right now is this castle. Everyone else is okay? Yes. I know that there's a barrier, technically, so.
Right. Yeah, the barrier is there. And not all demons, like, I feel like they go into it later in the series, but it's like not all the demons are like, yeah, we want to take over the world and kill everything. It's like, no, some of them are just kind of chilling in demon world. They're like, yeah, we get a little rowdy sometimes, but we don't really give a shit about controlling, the human world.
Yeah, no, it's just these demons are
These
like,
demons
no, we are the four. We're the four holy demon beasts. Okay.
Oh, right.
You don't have to be.
When you say it like that, there's a line that makes me die because I love Yusuke's humor. I really do. He has some really great one-liners, and one of them was when Genbu introduces them as the saint, or at some point Yusuke goes, how is a demon or how is a beast a saint? And no one reacts to it. No one reacts to it because it's like there's a fight going on or something. But he's just like, "How is a beast a saint?" And I'm like, "Holy shit!" I laughed so hard at it because none of even the saint beasts were like no one said anything about it. But it's like, wow, that's actually a good point. Well then.
You know what I like about this show when I look at some of the character designs? And by the way, that joke stands. I'm not ignoring it like everyone else did in the scene. But I want to say that it was very interesting how this show has the pretty boy aesthetic for certain characters. Before, it felt like every character was the pretty boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I mean by that is I look at certain shows now and it feels like every guy that I see is pretty.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong here, but it feels like every guy that I see in some, in newer anime stills. I'm not saying that they all act that way with the roses and everything, but I feel this was a show that it was, you have someone like Kurama, but not everyone's Kurama. You have Kurama, you have who's definitely when you look at Kurama, it's so interesting because I know you don't know much about shoujo stuff, around that time or whatever, but there's this really popular shoujo manga called Rose of Versailles.
Right.
And you can definitely see the style, in Kurama, from that kind of the whole pretty boy, art for quote unquote, the stories for quote unquote girls, because shonen means boy, shoujo means girl. So in in girls manga, quote unquote, because again I don't really see much of the difference, but in the way they present their stories, usually it'd be more of a romance, and then there'd be a pretty boy and stuff like that. So Yusuke in some cases does look like a little bit feminine in some ways, but really that's on in my opinion, it's on Kurama, and it's on that random business guy, the one who won 66 trillion.
Oh, right.
You remember him at the end?
Yeah, Sakio.
Yeah, Sakio, thank you. He was super pretty boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
Also Genbu. But
no,
that's different.
Go ahead.
No, I'm an ass.
Did you just what the fuck?
I said, yeah.
Oh, God.
There's one thing I have to say to Senbu after he, or Genbu.
Oh
after Genbu, got the rock taken out of him. I was like, Genbu, get your head out of your ass. And win the fight, Genbu. Get your head.
I've heard of brass balls, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I heard that on Adult Swim, and I was like, oh. I think that was the line.
Yeah.
You're sitting there, you're like, did he say poop? And I heard brass balls, and I'm like, did anyone hear that?
Did anyone hear that? Oh, man.
But Suzaku, of course, super fucking pretty boy.
Yeah, pretty boy. Yeah.
I mean, fuck, Suzaku and his flute, and I'm like, chill the fuck out, Link. I'm like, Link, chill the fuck out.
It's only the, pretty boy playing the, lovely, creepy fucking looking whistle that will summon demon bugs that'll enter through your ear holes and control your brain. Yes, that's very, no, I get it. He's still pretty, but holy crap. That's like falling in love with the serial killer scenario,
Yeah. And I'll admit, by the way, Hiei has some pretty boy stuff going on, but it's only in his, shonen hair, not so, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's mostly on certain
his
characters.
Third eye?
Right, yeah, that's true.
Oh, God.
Hiei's looking at me. No, he's looking the other way. Not with those two eyes. But anyway, but I want to say that you mentioned the demon bugs, the Makai, and it's funny. Makai means underworld, so they're basically saying the underworld bugs. Anyway, so what I really love about them, and I love it so much, is that it's the first time that I was ever able to see a kind of zombie effect in an anime. Because I gotta be honest with you, man. Other than like High School of the Dead, don't see much zombie stuff in anime. And I don't know why it didn't really. I don't know if like zombies haven't picked up over there as much as they have here. I know that they've released zombie movies in Japan, right?
Right.
Like I'm not saying like movies that are just exclusively Japanese. I mean like, you know, dubs and translations of our films that we have over here, like Day of the Dead. You know, there's a lot of different. I mean, heck, in the Day of the Dead Japanese trailer. No, it wasn't Day. It was Dawn of the Dead. They showed people getting dismembered.
Right.
I don't know if that was a trailer that was on television, but they clearly did not. It's not like the violence was a problem. So I wonder why we've never really had, at least in my opinion, a lot more zombie media when it comes to anime.
Right.
Because literally, all I can think of right now, and please name any more if you can think of anything, is I can think of High School of the Dead, which was specifically centered around zombies, and then this show with their, you know, with what happened with the Makai and the bugs, and also when they were in, when they saw the cultivated humans.
Right.
That's the closest I can think about to zombies. I mean, maybe if you want to stretch, Attack on Titan, but obviously they're, you know, also giants. Yeah.
The only other thing I could think... I mean... I didn't really read a lot of it, but, like, from the title, I mean, zombie powder, but I think that was more... That wasn't really.
That's actually not
necessarily.
No. I've read that it's not. No.
Didn't think so. The only other thing that I can think is specifically when when a person holified in Bleach, that kind of struck me. But then they would turn more into a monster than just the undead kind of thing.
Exactly. You know, it's strange that we don't have much more, zombie, stuff in. Because I'm sure I'm not saying it doesn't exist other than two forms of media, right? There's more of it, obviously, but it seems so rare and and far between that I just can't. And we've seen a lot of anime, right? I'm not saying that we're up on the up and up. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. We're on the up and up on every single anime that's out there that's came out in the last 5 years or so. But still, just thinking about all the anime we've ever seen, even in passing, even just looking up stuff online, I can't really think of zombies and hordes the way they were in a show like this, or, of course, High School of the Dead, meant to be.
Right.
It's crazy. I kind of sit there and I'm like, wow, where are all the zombies at? Oh,
yeah.
Well, of course, there is, come on. It's something that I love. It's actually, I don't think it's getting an anime adaptation. It's getting what's it called? It's getting a live action adaptation though in Japan. I want to try to find the name though before I say it wrong. So please talk about the soundtrack while I'm looking up this info.
Oh, okay. One other that I just thought of, Fullmetal Alchemist with the homunculi people that they started making as pawns. It wasn't a lot.
Oh, right.
They didn't talk about it a lot, but that's as close as I can think either. But yeah, I love the soundtrack for Yu Yu Hakusho, especially in those moments, like the fight between Yusuke and Suzaku. Those moments where Yusuke kind of has to realize, okay, the normal, teen punk tactics aren't going to work here. I am literally at my limit, and everyone is going to die if I do not pull this off right now. I have to do something.
Yeah.
I kind of really felt like this was this is the first arc where Yusuke is kind of coming into his own. Like, he's realizing that he can be a hero in a sense, like it as a hero is defined. And though he may not act like one, he is the hero of their series. like when he was being held by Suzaku and the other the clones that he had made of himself. He's like, because even Suzaku says to him, "Why do you keep getting up? You know, do you honestly care about this girl so much that you're willing to die?" And he's a demon, and he doesn't feel, obviously, he doesn't have those feelings of love or affection, or even just caring for other, other demons, but other people for us in
other
general.
beings,
you know? Right, other beings. There we go. That's a better way.
Yeah.
But Yusuke has to sit there, and he's being electrocuted at the time, but he's like, "Yeah, why do I care? Like, what do I, because he's remembering his training with Genkai. It's like, you have to commit. It's like you can't just give up when things get tough. And it's like she knows Yusuke has the potential to be, really powerful and do great things with it. But he's like, why why do I want it? Like, that's the whole, like, that's a good point. Like, somebody else could see that in you, but you have to see it for yourself and want it yourself as well. And he goes, why do I care? And the reason, he looks back on, you see the different scenes of him coming back to life with, Keiko, his mother crying at his funeral, all the times that he's been knocked on his ass, but Kuwabara has been there to back him up, even, with Hiei and Kurama and all that. And he realizes it was never about me. It's always been about them. It's because they need me. And that's where all that power comes out. It's like Yusuke doesn't even realize that he has anything left. And I know it kind of gets cliche after a while because a lot of series do that. Like when you're knocking on death's door, it's like, all the power comes out. Or it's like, no, my friends need me. Whoa! But I don't know, in a way, I've always appreciated that kind of thing, no matter how many times I've seen it, because I feel like that's how it should be.
You're a weeaboo trash.
Like,
right.
All right, fine. You know what? Call me what you want. Fine. I don't care. This is how I feel, and that's my opinion. If you don't agree with it, well, you can go suck it. Anyway.
I was actually going to say that I understand you completely, but you know what?
Oh, all right.
Fuck you. Never mind. We're on the fuck you train. Turns out we've come to your stop. Fuck you. By the way, I would like to interject. I would like to interject just for a second and say that the manga is I Am a Hero. And it's so funny because I actually really do like this manga. It's just I am also an asshole. Because I am also an asshole because I forgot it, despite the fact that I've read like 20 volumes.
Wow. All right.
I just haven't read it in a while.
Okay,
fair
enough.
I haven't read it in a while. But my God, did I read 20 volumes, and it's so fucking good. And Dark Horse recently picked it up.
Oh, right.
Well, when you marathon it, you're not wondering what the name of it is. You're wondering how the guy's going to get out of the zombie apocalypse.
Fair enough.
But yeah, such a good show. Such a good manga. But that's the only one I can think of. I can't really think of a lot of zombie manga. So yeah, having the zombies appear in this way with, having them go after Botan and Keiko, having Botan go around with the bat, and it's so interesting because also seeing the progression where it starts off where it's like, it's just a few, and, thankfully though, I can beat down a few and I'm good. And you saw her succeeding. Right? She hits one guy, and then, she ends up spraying him down or spraying down the bug, and they die. Yeah. And it's like, we're good job. And then all of a sudden it starts increasing in numbers, and having her report into, I don't know, I really enjoy, as much as I love the arc, or I like the arc, rather, I think I loved the scenes with Botan and Keiko more. Because you just have Botan reporting into Koenma, just like, so the mayor is now called a freaking, like, a state of emergency because of the rioters. And I'm like, it's like, and also Keiko, right, being in school all day, she knows of the news, but she really just doesn't, like, pick up on it at all.
Right.
Like, because again, like, it's just not, it really is like a zombie apocalypse. Like, she's just in a secluded area all day, so it doesn't matter to her. Like, it matters, like, I guess there's some people rioting. But on the outside, it didn't look that, it's funny, it didn't look that way from the way, the way they were attacking Botan and Keiko, I assume because of an animation budget or how much the author, Togashi, wanted to draw, it didn't seem like the whole town was infested because you would assume they'd all be after them.
Yeah.
But it's still but still, though, there was more than just 10 people because Botan could take down more than 3, you know? Like she can take down like 5 at least. But the entire town was just going nuts from the sounds of it. And that's crazy because here's the thing, right? It's kind of like everything went back to normal. They just said it was hysteria. It's kind of like people died. Like, people had to have died in that. Not even referring to the ones that Botan hit in the head with the baseball bat who didn't get any medical attention. Not even those people.
Right.
Just the fact that when you get hit with that, you become violent.
Right.
Oh, hey, by the way, talking about zombies, although it's mostly vampire, but I guess a little bit of zombie here and there. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I mean, by that logic,
technically-ish.
Helsing too, the ghouls more than anything else, but yeah.
Yeah, you're right. By that logic, which it's hard to, but you're going with that logic.
That's not your standard, like, zombie apocalypse. That's, henchmen going after the big, honcho.
Yeah, that we had going on here, which was really crazy, I think. Also, I have to say, though, and it's not their fault. Maybe it's just how it is in motion. The manga, I would argue, was scarier when they had, like, the whole, we're coming after Keiko, because of how the detail that Togashi puts into asshole. I don't remember his name, but I think last time we agreed to call him asshole. Thank you, Iwamoto. The fucking detail he puts into Iwamoto.
Right.
It's
Zombie
just like
Iwamoto.
in the manga.
Never thought we wanted that until we got it.
Yeah, but like the detail he puts into him in the manga, because I'm not saying he didn't look crazy in the anime, but I'm pretty sure in the manga he looked rabid. And it was scary, especially seeing the end scene, the one where it's like, they see the scarf and then they hit the locker. As a single panel, that's terrifying. Like, I don't know, there's a bigger impact than there was when they were just hitting it in the anime. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But I remember it being scarier in the manga than I do in the anime. Like having to focus on all the different characters and like not much. It's funny, the lack of we mentioned this before on the last one, the lack of backgrounds some ways
syndrome.
Just lack of what?
Lack of background syndrome.
Yeah, no, but it didn't happen here as much in the anime. But I think in the manga it actually helped in a way, because when you see like a character like foaming at the mouth, just like Keiko, it's scarier, I think, than having the school behind it.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing, too, by the way, something else that may have creeped you the fuck out, because it creeped me out as a kid, why he was so concerned about Keiko, about her personal life, while trying to kill her.
Right.
Now, to us in America, that sounds like when he was cured of his zombieism, we had to call some police officers. Because clearly there was some deep-rooted issues there, right? But that's another cultural thing. Because in Japan, it's not like it's not like in America people's parents don't work, right?
Right.
But in Japan, there's a lot more of a trust in teachers. So what happens in Japan is they're basically given the reins to be parents to children. So and I know and some teachers do take that to heart, even in America, right? You're in school and they're like, hey, go home, kid. I care about you. That happens. But I do think that in America, a lot of it is just get into class. I'm going to give you a C+, no matter how well you did, and then you'll leave. Right? I feel like we've met more teachers like that than we have where it's like, hey, kiddo, let's talk about life. Right? But, no, that's just my take on it. We've met a lot more of, I don't care how well you did, you're getting a B, and you're getting the fuck out. Right? So, but in Japan, it's like, no, we're basically your surrogate parents. So him saying to her, not just at first, oh, hey, go home, and, oh, don't mess with Urameshi. It's not just fuck Urameshi. It is. But it's also the fact that, as teachers, they care about their well-being more than just showing up to school and leaving.
Right.
So that's why when he's just you become a bad egg, and oh, I'm worried about you, and it just feels fucking weird. When I was younger, I was like, this doesn't seem right.
Right.
But
I
it's
would
more of like
argue-
he's supposed. Yeah.
I would argue for Iwamoto that it doesn't really come more like I see what you're saying, and yes, I agree with it. But I feel like for Iwamoto's character, it's more like because he even says at one point, it's like, oh, go home, get some rest. We have a big test tomorrow, and you want to do good on it to, really bolster our school's rating, right?
No, he's
still
a dick.
a dick.
Well, remember something. Parents can be dicks. Just because they're a
but I'm
parent doesn't mean
saying
that he actually
Iwamoto's
cares.
character doesn't strike me that it's coming from, you know what, Keiko, I want you to succeed. I want you to, do okay. Like, you should go
Fair
home
point.
and take a rest. It's like, no, I want you to do okay so you can make us look good. I don't give a fuck about you.
Fair point. But to be fair, okay, that is very true. Because, of course, just like any school, they get ranked in the
I would
system.
argue that
but
Takanaka, the principal, is more like that because he always runs up to Yusuke. Like, he'll say, Yusuke, get in my office. But when he actually talks to him, he'll be like, Yusuke, come on, we can talk about this. Like, I'm looking out for you, kid. I really don't want you to go down this path of delinquency. Like, can we work on this?
No, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. But my point is that, like, at least in the way Iwamoto was talking about Keiko in regards to Yusuke, it's not just a fuck you, fuck Yusuke. It's a little bit of like, okay, as an educator, this is what I'm allowed to do. Because again, it's not like just because I'm saying he's more like a parental figure because he's a teacher doesn't mean that I'm saying he's a good parental figure.
Right.
I'm just saying that he has authority, more so than I would argue teachers in America are given.
Right.
Like, I'm pretty sure, at least at one point, I don't want to say it happens now, but definitely when this was written, if a teacher slapped a student, it'd be like, well, I mean, clearly this kid did something wrong, and, we've given them the authority. I mean, they're like a parent. If a teacher slapped a student, I think at any point in the last 20 years in the U.S., oh, man.
Right.
Like, teachers getting fired, getting hung. Like, no, it's not happening.
Right.
There would be a hunt for that teacher.
Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of getting at here, right? Anyway.
Right.
So, yeah. But we were talking about the soundtrack for the show way earlier, right? A lot earlier. And I want to mention that, okay, so don't kill me. I like the soundtrack. All 4 tracks. Like, I'm sorry. I like it, but it feels like there's no variation.
Yeah, I'll give you that. There isn't a lot of variation.
Now, no.
But I think they use it effectively.
Yes, they use what they have effectively. It's just, it screams of low budget, just like some of the animation does, and it reminds you, like, oh, right, like, this isn't Toei. I mean, sorry, not as if Toei doesn't do things low budget sometimes, but, like, I feel like, this isn't like, okay, as much as Yu Yu Hakusho became popular and, it was, a big hit for Funimation, I honestly, Funimation, as great as they are, they got really fucking lucky with hit after hit for a while.
Yeah.
Like, no, think about it, man. Like, you get Dragon Ball Z, and it's like, you would think, oh, they're going to have to go down from here. And then they fucking get Yu Yu Hakusho. And it's like, oh, shit. It's like, you guys knew what you were doing.
Right,
because
it's funny. Like, I always think it was funny when people started talking about the big 3. Like, I know people would reference that for, like, Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. And I'd laugh, and I'd always be like, wow, I mean, yeah, I guess, they're a good series, and, like, I'm glad people like them. But the big 3 for me were always, or my big 3 personally, were Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Rurouni Kenshin, because that's what I grew up with, obviously. But
yeah, I know, and I feel bad for you because I pat you on the back, and I'm like, oh, that's not how anything sees it.
Right, exactly. It's like, I mean, arguably Dragon Ball Z is still big. Yes, Dragon Ball, but
well, that's no. I'm talking about like sales numbers. Like, I know I said that like Yu Yu Hakusho was big for Funimation, but like not big enough for me to call it DBZ, and that's my point.
Right, and neither was
that like
Rurouni
you can
Kenshin
still
either.
Oh no, it's bigger than I think because I wasn't a fan of it when I was a kid, so it's obviously bigger than I think. But again, it's not on the level of. And to be very fair, One Piece for a while wasn't even on the same level as any of those 3 that we've mentioned.
No,
even Naruto. Oh, hear me out, by the way. Even Naruto and Bleach. And now for everyone that's like, are you fucking serious, Matt? I'm going to say in America.
Right.
And I don't think anyone can deny me that in saying in America. In Japan, One Piece used to and still reigns supreme.
Right.
But in America, it took until the 4Kids dub that failed, and even, it just never came to America until we had it on Late Night Toonami for a bit, and then, now it's on Toonami again.
Right.
So, and I say Late Night Toonami, not Late Night Toonami. We had it on 9 p.m. Toonami, I remember, when it transitioned away from 4Kids for a bit.
Yeah.
And now we have it on Toonami, and so it's obviously picked up steam. One Piece Gold got released in multiple theaters. Not multiple theaters, I'm sorry, in many theaters. I would say multiple, like 5. No, released in a lot of theaters throughout the U.S. So, clearly it's doing well, right? Funimation wouldn't just blow money like that and rent out theaters if it wasn't doing well. But in America, it wasn't as big. Just in my opinion, just like Rurouni Kenshin. Bigger than I think, but I don't think it was as big as Dragon Ball Z. Or even Yu Yu Hakusho, I would argue. But again, that's probably Yu Hakusho is probably my bias. Right? So, point is that when you're like, those are the big 3, and I'm like, Tristan.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, that's why I clarified and say they were mine. So.
Yeah. You know what I would argue would be the big 3 if you swap out Rurouni Kenshin and put in Sailor Moon?
Yeah, probably. For the time.
Because I can't think of any other ones in America from when we were kids that were that big that weren't just for kids. Yes, DBZ was for kids, no shit, and Yu Yu Hakusho, and they were all on the midday block. But I want to exclude Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh for how toyetic they were. Because obviously it would only be DBZ, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh. If those would be the big 3. That's it.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, the soundtrack, I just want to really mention that before we kind of try to wrap things up a little bit. Yeah, I felt like the soundtrack was really good, but very, very tiny. Very, very tiny. But like you said, used effectively. It's just every time, I don't know, it felt like it was too much. And granted, I haven't seen a lot of the Japanese Dragon Ball Z, the full-on television show, so they could do the same thing. It could be reused tracks, and I'm an asshole. And that just happens a lot more than I think. But even with something like Bleach, right, as they went on, and I don't remember the show going on from other arcs later on during Yu Yu Hakusho, so they may have changed up the music. But Bleach went on for so long, they constantly changed up the music. So, yes, there's those, and heck, even then, they have those iconic tracks, but at one point I had the soundtrack, and there were 20 tracks on there, and I really feel like, and maybe, again, I'm a jerk here, but looking at the Yu Yu Hakusho soundtrack, if I had one, there'd be less than 6 tracks. Maybe up to 6.
Yeah.
That's just how it feels to me. Maybe they just play certain parts of the same track, so that's why it seems like, there's too little, where maybe there's a lot of them and they just play certain parts a lot, so in my head there's only, 6. But you understand what I mean. At this point, and we're 25 episodes in, they seem to have very little soundtrack usage. Very limited soundtracks in general, tracks on the OST, and the ones that are used are basically the same ones.
Right.
Yeah, that's just my take on it. Anyway. So we talked about the Demon Beasts, right, for a bit, and we talked about how we think the fights were a little too fast. Because honestly, but I want to talk about the voice actors before we end. I knew there was something that was missing. How did you feel about the voiceover work? Because I thought it was lacking in some ways. And mind you, very early Funimation, right? So, and it's a television show. When if you think they don't have that many voice actors now, back then it was even worse.
Right.
So, how do you feel about the voiceover work? Were there any characters that you didn't think worked out with the voice actor that was chosen? Do you think that maybe there were some, lines or some, I don't know, some dialogue or some kind of delivery that you didn't like, or anything that stuck out to you that you're like, that wasn't good? Or because I know you said, you like some of Yusuke's jokes, so not the jokes were a problem to you, but in terms of what I just said, delivery, voice actors, pick, things like that, any of those stuck out to you as a problem?
I don't think they stuck out to me as a problem. I mean, some of the some of the voices might sound similar a lot to me. Like, I guess.
Well, we know who's who now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny, like, every time I watch Siryu now, every time I see his fight, all I can hear in my head is Super Boo from Dragon Ball Z, because I know it's the same actor, but it makes me laugh so hard.
Who was it again?
I want, no, it's not Sabbath. Fuck. I know who it is. I can't think of the name.
Oh no, I'm saying not the name of the person, the character. What character again?
Siryu, the dragon guy.
Oh, I thought he was voiced by Vale, who did Trunks.
I don't think so.
Okay. What I want to say also what's very interesting is, so his actor was supposed to be doing a French accent from the way they called them French fries and certain things that he said at some points. But, like, in other ways, I was like, you're not French, though. But, like, no, because here's the thing. He wasn't French, but he said one thing like, oh, this amateur. And then Yusuke was like, you turned that guy into French fries. And I'm like, was
I think we're talking about
French?
a different character.
Oh. Sorry, who are
I'm
you?
talking Siryu, one of the Saint Beasts. I think you mean somebody from the Triad.
No, I don't. I mean one of the Saint Beasts. Yes. The ice guy.
Oh, I didn't get the French accent thing.
Neither did I. He just said amateur once.
Okay.
And then Yusuke said, you turn that guy into French fries. Why would he be French fries otherwise?
I don't know, the way he cut him up.
But why would he be French? No, I'm not saying that he was. I'm not saying that he did a good French accent. That's my point.
Right. I never realized at all, even from Yusuke saying that he was meant to be French. It just never struck me that way.
Fair enough.
That's why I'm confused. That's all.
No, I'm confused too, because again, I never thought of it either. But he was like, but like the way he said like one or two words, I was like, is he trying here? Is he trying here?
I didn't feel like he was trying to do that. No, but maybe maybe they were.
At least if he was written that way, because it's very strange. Because it's not like Funimation has shied from doing accents before in just even in their dub of Yu Yu Hakusho. It was just strange for me because, like the way he said certain words were not just "Hello, my name is Siryu," but like there was a twang there that he was trying to go for. It was weird. Like watch it again. It was weird. It's very fucking weird.
I thought the voice effect on Genbu was kind of interesting too.
I think they needed something like that for Siryu. Oh, actually, I'm an asshole. Siryu wasn't, what's it called? Siryu was not Eric Vale. Siryu was Justin Cook. So Justin Cook was two people in that scene.
Also, who also does Yusuke as well. Jesus.
Yes. Chris Forbes did Genbu. But no, I think that they shouldn't have used Cook for Siryu. I don't know. I think when I saw Siryu, just his design and everything, he seems like someone who's just like, oh, well, like, I am, like, not like a deep, deep voice, but just there's something about the way he spoke.
Too.
You thought he would be, I thought he'd be deeper, because he was way too light. It was a strange thing. Like, I don't know.
I thought he'd be higher.
That's just me.
I didn't think he'd be as deep and gravelly. I thought he'd be higher, but yeah.
Oh. All right, but by the way, Christopher Forbes, who voiced both Dr. Brief and Dodoria, was the voice of Genbu.
That's appropriate. Spikehead for a spike.
I think. I think it is. I don't know.
Right.
But Cooler equals Byakko. Yeah,
okay,
so Andrew Chandler, did Cooler. He did Giran, the narrator in GT. So, I think, that's interesting. He was also bald in Fullmetal Alchemist. What? Hey man, I'm just reading off the names on these lists. But yeah, so he was Byakko and he was Bakken. Let's see, Suzaku was Jerry Jewell, who I know that name. He's been oh shit, he was Jimmy Kudo in Case Closed. Okay, there we go. He was also Barry the Chopper. That's what I remember him from in Fullmetal Alchemist. Because I know I heard his voice as Suzaku before. And I was like, where have I heard it before other than, like, assumingly in Dragon Ball Z, because everyone was in Dragon Ball Z. Oh, that's interesting. He was in Dragon Ball. He was Nam and Sky Dragon. He was, that's interesting. He didn't do much, in terms of Dragon Ball Z. But yeah, just looking at the voice actors because I really want to see, I'm sure there's going to be some voice actors that are not going to, Mike McFarland, who was a mafioso guy, the guy that I fucking hate that tortured Yukina.
Oh, right. Yes.
Now he's
I so
very
loved
important.
When right.
Yes.
So loved when Hiei just
you know what I laughed so much? I just laughed at it. Yeah, no, but here's why I found it funny, though. Because it was like...
Toguro. Never mind.
Well, no, he didn't kill him, right, of course. I'm sorry, I thought you were just alluding to the fact that he punched him repeatedly. Then Yukina's like, and he's like, of course, I would never. And they have such a nice family moment while Fee's fucking like, I'm bleeding.
And then Toguro comes in.
Yes. But that hasn't happened yet, actually. Wow. Wow. Okay. No, but seriously though, so I just thought it was really funny because of the fact that it was funny because of the fact they're having a nice family moment and he's dying and bleeding, and just Mike McFarlane in general starts off with this very much like this, New York, Brooklyn like accent, like, oh hey, I'm the boss, hey, bada bing. And then after a while he starts getting really nervous and he loses that to just start screaming, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is oolong. That's all it was. Right. You are oolong. Yep. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just hilarious. Anywho, so, and of course, younger Toguro, being the same voice of Cell, original Cell anyway.
Right.
Let me make sure to find the exact name before we truly end things. Yes, so younger Toguro, which is so funny. It's funny. It's like, wait, which one's older, which one's younger? The younger one is the shorter one. You wouldn't think, but
no,
it's true.
No.
Wait,
that is Elder Toguro.
Wait, what? Elder Toguro is the shorter one. I'm sorry, I meant the...
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I meant the younger one is the taller one. Sorry. That's what I was trying to say.
There we go.
My bad. Flip that around. Yeah. Damian Clark is younger Toguro. And he originally voiced Cell. And I'm thinking anyone else. Oh, Scar and Fullmetal Alchemist, of course. And, another one. Funimation got Fullmetal Alchemist. Everything Funimation touches is gold. I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there. Like, my God. How crazy is that, Tristan?
Yeah.
No, because, I'm not saying Funimation hasn't touched something that's done meh. I'm not going to say that. But, man, did they pick up things that just really had great appeal in the U.S.
Right.
Damn. Anywho, but before I keep on going through voice actors all night, because I'll literally do it all night, hey, Laura Bailey was Keiko. Matt, put it down. Did you know? Matt, please stop.
Well, no, I mean...
That Shawn Michael Teague was Koenma? I know. Cynthia Kranz, Botan, Cynthia Kranz, as I said last time, also Chi-Chi. That's true. Oh, yep. Okay, so I'm sorry, I have to tell you a funny story. I want to end things here, but I have to tell you a funny story. Do you understand, and I have to blame Dragon Ball Z for this because of how prominent of a character this was in Dragon Ball Z. Do you fucking understand the terror and fear in my heart? As Yusuke is dying, it sounds like Frieza is screaming at him. Do you understand how scary that is?
Yeah, that was actually a big thing for me when I was watching it on Toonami, when I put two and two together and realized it was the same actor for Genkai as it was Frieza. Because I saw it one after the other, and then it just clicked in my head, and I'm like, no! I don't want my mentor to be the evil space emperor! What the hell is this?
Yeah, that happened to me very early on, because what happened was I was still young at the time, but I was watching it. I think no, it wasn't on when it was on Toonami. It was on Adult Swim, and I'm just watching it, and I'm just like, you sound familiar. Who are you? And I'm like thinking of the voice, and I'm like even trying to imitate myself, and I'm like, who are you? And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh no! And for the longest time, I hated her just because of her voice actress. No, it's really hard, man. Because, like you said, she's the mentor, but she's also Space Hitler.
Right.
It's really hard to, like, separate the two. When her voice, by the way, Linda Young was her dub voice. There's many, by the way, I'd like to add, there's many different dubs of this show. Like, in not even different languages, just, like, different people took over the role.
Oh, Dragon Ball. Yeah.
No. Yu Yu Hakusho.
No? Okay.
We're talking about Yu Yu Hakusho right now.
Yes, I know. You're saying multiple dubs. There were multiple dubs of Yu Yu Hakusho? I wasn't aware of that.
Yes. Yeah, you were. Remember a Poltergeist Report or some other Yu Yu Hakusho movie came out without...
Yes. True.
Yeah. Yes. Also, apparently Animax dubbed it, which is very strange. Animax dubs things for the Asian market, usually in Hong Kong.
Right.
So... apparently there's another dub of Yu Yu Hakusho. That I didn't know about, to be fair. But I know that, what's it called? That, actually she wasn't in the movie that was picked up by, I think it was ADV. However, apparently she's replaced in the Poltergeist Report, which is sad, but, I mean, we'll get to that when we get to that. I haven't seen it yet, but that's sad. Anyway. So, because I know that she stepped away from voice acting, but she was great. Like just having her be in both of my iconic shows from when I was a kid, and being completely different characters.
Right.
Like and it's all, as much as I just complained about it, it actually is a lot of fun, you know. But anyway, so let's finish the show. Is there anything you would like to say before we finish the episode?
I mean, I know you said you didn't particularly care for the arc because it was short and felt rushed, but I did like the fact that they took the time to introduce, the Toguro brothers as kind of they were just in the background at first, and it's like later on, it's like, no, they become a very big deal. Like, I enjoyed that introduction, and I love the fact that Toguro kind of plays with Yusuke and Kuwabara at first. He's like, these kids might have some potential. Let's play with them a little bit and see how it goes. And their whole fight, like, I love the fact that the finisher that they did, where Yusuke just fires, a spirit gun to Kuwabara to then ram, Toguro with the spirit sword to finally drop him. And when I say drop him, holy crap, he is a monster of a man. He's not even really a man anymore. He's more demon than man. He's more demon now than man. And he just boom, that the floor moves when this guy falls. It's like, holy crap. Yeah. But it terrified me as a kid. Like, when I was watching it on Toonami, it's like, he gets back up. Like, he waits until they leave, and it's like, we did it. All right, let's get out of here. Then he gets up afterwards. It's like, yeah, I'm good. It's like, guys. It's like, ooh, that was a good fight. A little more training, and maybe he might be something interesting someday. It's like, oh, God, the foreshadowing.
Yeah. So, and that'll happen next episode, sort of. Yeah.
I did enjoy that, though.
Yes. But, yeah, so we'll talk about that more next time, on the next time we do Yu Yu Hakusho. Might not be the next podcast that we do, to be very honest, but still, the next time, it'll be close. We're not going to wait another year. Matt, it wasn't technically we're not going to wait another year. So, thank you all. We love you guys. Just want to, don't laugh, Tristan, but no, you can laugh. So just want to thank you all for watching. As always, we love that you guys are here with us. Another episode of Yu Yu Hakusho, and a Saturday. We're recording this in advance on a Saturday. And, yeah, I just want to mention that if you like what we're doing here, definitely send us an email over at thoseguysonthe.radio@gmail.com and tell us. If you don't like it, email us over at thoseguysonthe.radio@gmail.com and tell us. Or you can talk to us on social media via our Facebook page, which is /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio, our Twitter, which is @ThoseGuysRadio, or our Instagram, which is /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio. You know, if you like us so much you want to get merchandise, you can go get it over at our main website, thoseguysontheradio.tumblr.com/merchandise, or on our eBay, Those Guys Radio. If you hate us, buy merchandise through those, outlets and burn it. If you hate us that much, please. And you can also send us the videos through our social media, as we mentioned earlier. If you want to see us making asses of ourselves, you've currently heard us making asses of ourselves via our podcast, assumingly through Blog Talk Radio, which is /Those Guys on the Radio, through our iTunes, which is Those Guys, or through our Those Guys on the Radio YouTube channel. Just search up Those Guys on the Radio to find it. If not, which has our older podcast archived on there. You've probably heard us making an ass out of ourselves here. But if you want to see us doing it, go to our YouTube channel, Those Guys Play, and watch it, because we currently have Let's Plays coming out. We actually have Season 3 out every Saturday, and currently, when this comes out, we'll currently be in our 12 Nights of Love special, where Matt Marrera, which is me, will be putting out a dating sim every single day, right, playing a dating sim every single day, up until Valentine's Day and on Valentine's Day, minus 2 Saturdays, which Season 3 episodes will be coming out. And why? Because it's February, and yeah. You know, it's February.
Because reasons.
Because Valentine's Day. But yeah, so definitely check that out over on our YouTube channel, Those Guys Play. And if you like us so much that you like everything that we're doing, you're like, man, I love those guys. I want to help them out in some way or another. Well, go to our Patreon, which is TG Productions, and you can donate there. But not only can you donate there to help us with our Blog Talk Radio account or to help us get different capture devices to play even more games for you guys, you can also, by giving to us, you can either tell us, hey, do this podcast or play this video game with this host. And depending on how much you donate, not just that, you can also end up having us give you a shout-out on the show as an official sponsor. So that'll be very cool as well. And again, if you don't like us, do that, but in spite of us. Like, we hate you so much that this is a $20 of hate. It represents my anger, and I'm like, yeah, you protest with that money to me directly. Freedom of expression, Tristan. Freedom of expression.
Right.
Do you not support it? You were silent there. Do you not support it?
I'm just, you know what? I'm not gonna speak my mind. Just gonna let you do your thing there, bruh.
TG Productions employee speaks out against CEO.
Everybody can fire me too. TGC CEO fires disgruntled worker.
CEO was reached for comment, said it can't be considered a firing if he wasn't being paid in the first place.
Fair enough.
All right, so we thank you all and say good night, Tristan.
Good night, everyone.
May the spirit gun be with you.
No.
No, that doesn't work like it does with Star Wars. No, it doesn't.
You killed it.